That was rubbish. Whoop.
There's no mention of trekking.
Whatever it takes to get the shot, unfortunately. Beautiful, really pretty. One of my favourite things to do when I'm away is to have, I've got this coffee maker, this espresso maker, and I love to have a coffee in the morning, a nice strong espresso to get me started, and to read the word, read scripture, and it just kind of sets me up for the day. Barking dog.
Well, we're just getting set up. We're about to head off to Ephesus any moment. So the question is whether what we find on the road will actually match anything like the maps that Mark has been researching.
It will. It will. It's just
his confidence.
Yeah. It will. It will be fine. So we're going to go to, there's a shrine to Mary. Not interested in that at all, but there is parking there, so I can send the drone up from there. Ephesus is just down there. So if I send the drone up, if we get the drone nice and high here, then we should be able to get the geography. Yeah, look, so we just passed that. I mean, some part of the ancient structure of Ephesus. We just drove past it. It's. Oh look, there's the amphitheatre down there. Right, I can't use the drone. The maker of the drone, they have to apply by the laws of the land and stuff, and there are, around every airport and every protected airspace is a protected zone, which is I'm absolutely fine with, because that's, you know, when you're flying, you don't want people flying drones near where your aeroplane is. I know that there's an airport over there. It's about 10 kilometres away-ish, maybe a little bit less. So when I checked it on the map, it showed that we were outside of this authorization zone, but I'm trying to start the drone and it's saying no. It's saying we're in the authorization zone, which means it won't take off. I mean, there's nothing. Right, but it said that I might be able to connect it to my phone, and because it says I can unlock it. Network connection required. So there, yeah. Could I use your telephone number? Ah, right, I've unlocked it. So far, so good. I'm happy that, because I'm below the height of this hill, I'm not going to come into conflict with any planes, and if there are any planes, I'll get straight out of the way.
The plane would have to be dicing with death to get that close, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly. You see it, can you? Oh yeah, there it is, yeah. So we do that.
Successful mission.
I think so.
On a day like today, it's sort of hard to imagine a shipwreck, isn't it?
Yeah, the sea is absolutely flat. We've just driven up the coast a little bit, about 20 kilometres, because there's a bunch of bays here, and one of the things that we need to get is the bay that Paul would have shipwrecked on. Now, he didn't shipwreck here, and we know that. This is just to show our audience or people what a bay looks like, because if you've never even seen the ocean, trying to figure out what a bay is challenging. This is in Acts, and it's talking about when Paul had been, he'd appealed to be tried by Caesar, and so he was put on a boat and he was going to be transported up to Rome. And the boat came into some really bad weather. I mean, looking at it now, it's flat. I mean, it's completely flat. I mean, I can probably see 20, 30 miles out to sea, and it's completely flat. Barely a ripple, but there would have been a storm bad enough that they chucked all the cargo over the side. They threw all the cargo out. They even got rid of some of the rigging, which is, you know, obviously nothing that you'd want to do because you need the rigging to steer and to maintain the ship. And the only option was to run this ship aground, and they'd seen this bay, and they were basically aiming for the bay to run the ship aground so that they could save themselves. That's the story that people will be reading, and you know, these photos that we've just got will hopefully help them understand what a bay could look like. I've sent it about half a kilometre out to sea, so hopefully I don't lose it. Oh, it makes me nervous. Come on. There we go, home safe and sound. It's not quite enough of a bay, so I still want to go back to that other place that we passed earlier. Since we're going to go back past it anyway, we'll go and have a look and see.
How you doing, Cesar?
Doing good.
You're hanging in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't tell you about this bit.
Cesar's thinking there's no mention of trekking.
Yeah, whatever it takes to get the shot, unfortunately. How far can we get is the question. This is what I was hoping for. Come on, hey. Bit windy.
Which do you think was your preferred bay?
This one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more horseshoe-like. I think if I had to hang my hat on the more realistic location, I would have said the other one.
Yeah.
If you're on a ship that's being driven before the storm, you're not going to aim for a little thing like that when you've got, 100, 200 metres that way, you've got a nice big wide sandy bay. But this is more indicative of, I think, of you know, sort of a horseshoe bay.
Now I'm assuming you're looking for pine trees, not looking for somewhere to go for a wee.
No, I'm looking at the pine trees. The thing is when, I mean, like, we know there are lots of pine trees, but if you don't know what a pine tree looks like, this is just a wall of green. See, that one would, because it's on its own, but it's also halfway up a hill. Whoop. The pine trees in the UK are different to the pine trees here, so I reckon that one will do, because I'll do a drone shot just here, then show the scale of the pine tree really. These ones, can't use these because it's just, you can't pick them out. I mean, I know there are different trees here, but if you've never seen a pine tree, it's hard to know where one ends and another one begins, so I think it will do. Can you see there's just a little bit of light? That's a track. There's a track that comes up here. If you can go and stand on that, I'll get the drone up here and then I can back off.